My name is Eitayo. The topic is surds under mathematics. What is a surd? A surd is a prime number that is written under a square root. And the question will be, what is a prime number? A prime number is a number that can only be divided by 1 and itself. A prime number is a number that is divisible only by 1 and itself. So prime numbers are like 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, so and so on like that. These are known as prime numbers. They are prime numbers because only 1 and itself can divide each one of them. Like 2 can only be divided by 1 and 2. 3 can only be divided by 1 and 3. If you use other numbers apart from the 2 numbers that I mentioned to divide a prime number, what you are going to get is going to be a recurring decimal. So what's a recurring decimal? A recurring decimal is a decimal that has digits after decimal point that cannot end, that does not end. So digits will continue like forever and ever. So if you find the square root of 2, for example, you are going to see that you are going to get a recurring decimal. So if you put 2 under a square root, that makes 2 to become a surd. So what I'm saying is that if you talk about a surd now, square root of 2 is a surd, square root of 3 is a surd, square root of 5 is a surd. When you put a prime number under a square root, it becomes a surd. Square root of 1 is not a surd because 1 is not a prime number. Square root of 1 will just give you 1. 1 times 1 is 1. So if you can get a number like this, like that will not lead to a recurring decimal, it is not a surd. So square root of 1 is not a surd. Square root of 4 is not also a surd. So you will get 2. For square root of 2, there is nothing you will get. If you try to get it, you will get 1 point something something that will continue forever. So that's a surd. So that's how to know surds. So square root of 5, square root of 7, square root of 11, square root of 13, square root of 17, square root of 19, they are surds. So those are surds. So the next thing after knowing what surds are, like square root of 7 is a surd, square root of 11 is a surd, square root of 13, square root of 17, square root of 19, square root of numbers like 23, so 29, square root of them, those are surds. So the next thing after knowing what surds are is how do we add surds. So we talk about addition and subtraction of surds. How do we add surds? You add surds by adding the whole number in front of them alone. For example, if you are given 3 root 2 plus 2 root 2, you are just going to add the whole numbers in front of the surds. So you are going to say 3 plus 2, 5 root 2. You should note that you cannot add 2 surds if the surds are not the same. Like this one now, the surd here is root 2. The surd here is root 2. Because they have root 2 and root 2 as surds, they can be added. Let's say we have 3 root 2 plus, let me show it, 3 root 2 plus 3 root 3. There is nothing you can do to this one. You can't add it because you can't add root 2 to root 3. So if you say 3 plus 3, you get 6. How do you add this? So this one cannot be added. So 2 surds can only be conformable to addition and subtraction if they have corresponding surds, like the surds are the same. So the numbers, the whole numbers will not be the same, but their surds must be the same. Number 2, let's say we are to minus this, 3 root 2 minus 2 root 2. You are going to get root 2. Because we say 3 minus 2, 1. In math, when we have 1 root something, we don't usually write the 1 there. If you write the 1 there, nobody is going to penalize you. But professionally, we don't put 1. Just like in math, we don't, under algebra, which we are still going to discuss later, we don't write 1a. We prefer to write 1a as a. So 1 root 2 is simply written as root 2. So that is how we add and subtract surds. Maybe we should take more examples. If we are to add 7 root 5 plus, let's say 4 root 5. Since the surds are corresponding, like they are the same, we can add this one. So we say 7 plus 4. So it will give us 11 root 5.